So I think I might get in a little trouble for this one. But here we are. Diggzy Radio, episode 10. Everybody, I know that it has been a long 2020. And you can see how long it has been for me. It's been almost actually a year since I put out an episode. And I really miss talking to everybody. I really miss getting to know everybody. I know that's a little bit on my fault, but after all this crazy stuff going on, COVID-19, all this crazy stuff going on in our world right now, just know that we're hoping and praying everything stays better. But so that this is a creative podcast. We already know that we're here to engage. We already know that we're here to develop our community. We're here for connecting and trying to find new ways to still stay creative in these crazy times. I know just connecting with people, expressing gratitude, and really trying to keep your promise and knowing your pace. That's definitely something I know that I've learned over this year, starting back before the quarantine started and even coming to now. Not only being a creative, but also being a Black creative too, seeing things with the Black Lives Matter movement, seeing things go on around the country with police brutality. It's definitely a topic that can really mess with somebody's mental. It can really, deviate away from what you're trying to do and how to keep yourself sane. I know, especially for us, with D17, we did the Black Art Drives Culture campaign and donated to 3 really great causes for Black creatives and just Black people in general. Like, come on, we really have to use our platforms nowadays to really push the issue, push education, put donations back in our communities, put donations in organizations and missions that we support. So we ended up supporting 3, Black Mental Health Alliance of Baltimore. We ended up supporting the Equal Justice Initiative and the Vibe Room Creative Fund. Just really ways to show that, hey, we see you, we hear you, we stand with you. I know a lot of people really want to go out and protest, but when it comes to virus stuff, it can be hard. It can be really hard. And being able to sit and speak where I'm coming from and seeing how all this is really life-changing. I know for me at the beginning of the year, I really wasn't in the best place. It really was trying to address things going on in life, really trying to address where to go from now, seeing as stuff is slowing down, and how can I be creative in a time like this? And I know a lot of things that come with creatives too is anxiety, comparing yourself to others now that everybody's on social media. Everybody is making a TikTok. Everybody's posting photography they're doing. Everybody's posting clothing releases that they're doing. It's hard to really sit back and not really want to compare yourself to what they're doing. And I know for myself that, keeping that promise and knowing your pace, knowing that your time is going to come, knowing that whatever thing you've going on, any success story that it always starts with a vision. I know sometimes that people say, oh, you just got to keep going. You just got to keep grinding. You just got to keep posting. But I know it can be really hard. I know for me, jumping on stuff and saying like, damn, when am I going to get that for me? Like, I sit up late nights. I do all this stuff. I do all the research. How can I get there? I know in times like this, it's great for networking. It's really great to start sliding in people's DMs. It's really great to start seeing what other people are doing, following new people, getting to know yourself to be inspired to new things. I know being creative is difficult, but allowing yourself to stay distracted with creativity, knowing that this stuff is your passion, knowing your passion. And I know for myself, being creative is what keeps me alive, is what keeps me sane, and what keeps me pushing. I know it's just a lot of stuff that really comes through. I know for me, we did the friends and family update probably back in the winter, just really trying to give out free stuff to people that want to jump on the D17 community, really try to keep it inclusive and really try to invite anybody that really shows interest, and really just imitating life with art. I know when we did all of our campaigns, I know jumping back on the podcast stuff, it can be difficult, but just knowing how you can maneuver, how you can jump on resources and how you can push things forward. I know on the D17 clothing website, and I'll put that in the descriptions of everything, there's a list of things to do if you're creative and you're dealing with depression or anxiety or dealing with things that might just be trying to inspire you. I know you can't go, back in the day, you go to a library, check out a book, or go sit down. Now you really have to walk around with your mask and you feel like you're kind of restricted. Always try jumping on new things. I know a lot of companies, Adobe's are doing free Creative Cloud suites and licenses. I know a lot of places are doing free websites. I know a lot of places are doing free things to go out and put your stuff out there. Really try to get your content exposed. I know things like YouTube, the Vimeos, the live casting, the Instagram lives. You see these versus battles with your favorite rappers and musicians every couple of weeks. It keeps us going, but it's always trying to find ways to stick out. I know in terms of being a creative and jumping on that and trying to stick out and finding your lane, is always adding personality, always putting yourself in it. Because I feel like sometimes people try to keep it a little too PC. I know nowadays the cancel culture is waiting to come get you at any moment. But really trying to put yourself out there, really trying to express who you are. What's your story? What can I do to be connected to you, and what type of path am I following? Just like you are. The way that you, like we mentioned before, when you're comparing yourself to somebody and you're seeing how they're doing and they're seeing how you're doing, you might be saying, man, I wish I could be in that person's position. I wish I could get that collaboration. I wish I could get that, client job. I wish I could get this new software, new engine that I'm running. But someone might be looking at you and saying the same thing. I know that for a fact. And really just trying to use that and not really trying to put yourself too far, but know that everyone's trying to grow right along with you. I know at the studio, the clothing, the podcasting, it can be really difficult. And I feel like this episode, I could be having a lot more to say. But this is just my way of keeping a promise. And like I said before, knowing my pace, not to really push out the new D17 running stuff, but just being able to put myself back out there. I felt like back in the day, I was really kind of fighting against myself in terms of content, in terms of what to put out, in terms of what messages to say, in terms of what imagery to create. How can I push stuff forward? And kind of saying to myself, when it comes to, it could be designing, it could be marketing, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be really anything. Am I here just to make, or am I here just to disrupt? And I know for me, just being able to disrupt, creating community, and really just making a lot of dope shit, that's really about it. And like I said, just using my voice to really push out what I can do for anybody out there. And this is really like kind of my call. I know people can follow me on Twitter, D17Terrance, or on Instagram, D17Terrance. You can find me on LinkedIn, D17Terrance. This is my way to network. This is my way to push out what I can do for you. These times are hard. These times are crazy. I know we don't like it. And even just to give a kind of a little bit of a push for each other, even for myself. I know I said 365 days ago that I'm going to keep posting. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing that. And it's hard, definitely trying to jump between project to project, really trying to keep your mindset, and really, like I said, life going on right now. It's going to hit. It's going to hit hard. And the way things are going, there's going to be change, but you got to be able to adapt too. That's always going to be the hardest thing about anything, really. So kind of just to jump in with the podcast, I know people listening, we're getting the interviews down. I have a lot of great people that are coming on. I really want to try to turn this into not only updating about what I'm doing and the challenges that I've been facing personally and professionally, but really just hearing from a lot of my peers. I won't say any names just yet, but they know who they are if they're listening. Just really trying to push out what we can do, getting to know new faces, getting to know different type of lanes and different type of people. It could be different business people, young entrepreneurs. It could be people with wisdom. It could be somebody that wants to step out and really try to set themselves off in a different lane. You could be a photographer that's jumping into graphic design. You could be a graphic designer that wants to jump into video. You could be a photographer that wants to jump in and make a game. Like, we all know that stuff is available. Stuff now is free for a time being, and being able to make it profitable is the end goal. Because nobody wants to jump in their own pockets to keep this shit going. Because I know personally, after a while, it gets a little annoying. It gets a little wild having to jump in the pockets and the paychecks when you can really use the business to pay for itself. And I know in terms of the studio stuff, it's been a little bit slow. I'm really trying to push that back. I know it's Diggzy Day 2020. It's crazy to know that On my personal story, it's been 6 years since I professionally been going under this moniker. It started off small at a school I used to go to, Towson University. I remember specifically going to a conference. It was in the Union Building, and I remember sitting down with my mom, who is back in the advertising days. She was a whiz, a legend, a goat in her own right. And I remember sitting down and making this crazy logo. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go up. When I go to this conference, it was supposed to be a panelist of a lot of great people in the area, mainly from Baltimore, people from Under Armour, different agencies, different type of companies and tech firms. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to present myself as: creative director and owner. They're going to know. I'm probably 19 at this point. I got my stuff off of, where did I get it from? Staples, I think. And I walked in there. I had my resume. I had my logo on top. And I said, hey, how you doing? I sat down, never gave anybody anything. Stopped myself from really making those connections early on. Do I regret it? No. When I look back on it, it's like, man, 2014 to 2020, jumping on all these projects with amazing musicians, doing clothing, jumping on building apps, jumping on making other podcasts, jumping on doing stuff for the nonprofit and the Black community, jumping on, it could be doing UX, UI, it could be touching materials and stuff with the clothing. It's just crazy how everything is a learning curve. I know I'm no crazy award winner. I'm no crazy, I don't run around saying I know everything when it comes to design and stuff or being creative, but I claim to be a creative. Knowing my track record, I feel like I've got a little bit of roses that I've been given over the years, but everything is always learning. And like I said before, know your pace, just know when to keep going. I know shit is hard right now. Always be sure to be using any resources you see online. Always use your platform to spread anything that might be getting you down. Always know that Black Lives Matter. Always know that, being a Black creative, it affects us too. It affects us when it comes to how our lives are imitated in our art, how we're communicating design, how we're communicating, how our voices are being heard. Platforms are able to be built nowadays. That's what I definitely did with the podcast. That's definitely what I did with the studio, with the clothing. Just know that it's there. Just know that you can do it. Just know that you can keep riding it out. And yeah, I'm trying to get away from the ums. I know it's crazy. I'm a little rusty. It's been a year. But I'm glad that we're here together listening on episode 10. It's definitely been a ride. It's definitely been a journey. And I know that it's not stopping now. I've been trying to get myself mentally, working out, staying in the gym. Well, when the gym was open, staying active, keeping the mind flowing, keeping the endorphins pressing through. I know nowadays I'd be going to bed at 3 a.m. every night because I just know the next project. I'm like, when's the next one gonna get me there? When's the next one gonna push me over the top? When's the next one gonna put me in a position that, I can really invoke some change? I know that it's definitely hard, but trying to get to that point is going to be a lot sweeter once you get there. And I'll tell you that much personally. Just being able to see how people interact. I know trying to see how design can really be pushed so far forward, especially on Twitter. That stuff, when it gets retweeted and shared, it's crazy. You might find your next client, your next customer, your next venture, your next inspiration, your next partner in business, your next, listener, the next person that might want to buy your stuff, your next ambassador, and the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, that's really all I can say. It's Diggzy Day 2020. It's episode 10 of Diggzy Radio, a Creatives podcast. We got it on lock. I was going to do a video for this one, but I want to wait until I get a really nice studio to really have it set up for everybody. I know we're going to jump on live streaming. I think we have a Twitch channel. I don't even know. I have to check myself. Trying to get some live streaming, get some questions, get some people on. I know the interview stuff's crazy. I know if anybody listening, just go ahead and go to D17 Productions. There's a sign up form if you want to jump on and try to be an interviewee. We're doing it all via virtual stuff right now, just for the safety of everybody. We'll do video if you want. We'll do audio. I just want to hear how you're doing. I want to talk creative. If you're an illustrator, let's jump on here. Let's talk about, it could be poster design. It could be jumping on album arts. It could be just doing digital portraits and stuff like that, trying to start your thing. If you're a musician, we can talk about records that are coming out right now. We can talk about hot music topics. We could talk about, anything really. If you're a marketer, we can jump on and speak on this Washington Redskins thing. I'm not a Redskins fan, but it's crazy to see how much potential that the people have and how it affects a brand, and how social media can really push that stuff and getting change. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. And I'm ready for the ride. I know it's been a year. I know it's been a long time coming. I know the following goes up and down. So I looked as a last note for a website. We actually were ranked the top 150 design podcasts in the United States. And now we're not ranked at all. So that's a little drive for me to get back in that top 100, really show what I could do. I guess we'll just have to see. So until next time with episode 11, stay safe, wear a freaking mask, text your friends, don't text your ex, and take care.